then when she used to come out every day with the Bob Mackies on, killing it, baby. Y'all know I'm going to die in the Bob Mackie dress. We going to have to make this happen somehow, okay? Even if I had to go to QVC and buy my shit.
Hello, Black Hole. See this brother winning, man. Hey, look, what is it, win, baby? What is it, win, baby? What is it, win, baby?
Well, hello there, love bugs. Hello there, Bellas. If you have not already done so, please remember to like, share to Facebook, subscribe, and visit uptopbeauty.com. And if you are not already a part of our book club, please hit the Patreon link below and or the join button here on the YouTube. And for a small monthly fee of $5, you babies, yes, you can be privy to all the shenanigans before the YouTube gets it, if the YouTube gets it. Now, let's continue talking about Anita Pointer and Prince Pointer, Fairytale, the Pointer Sisters family story. I now realize how fragile she was and had always been, and also how much responsibility I must take for her breakdown in Vegas. For me, this story was not just about June, but also about my ambition and intensity and tragic lack of empathy. David was trying to handle the situation the best way he knew. David said I was called for a meeting in the talent manager's office. I was basically surrounded. The boss turns to his assistant. Frank, when we decided to book these girls here, how many was it? The assistant said 4. All I could say in reply was, I'm really sorry, but there's nothing we can do. The youngest girl got very ill last night and was taken by ambulance to the airport, and she's in the hospital now. And that was it. Then later went back and had very successful appearances there. Of course, as her family, we knew that June was probably the weakest one of us. She hadn't been the same since the attack. We didn't know if she would ever be over it. What does that mean when people say get over it or move on? How the hell do you do that? I was amazed that she was able to do as much as she did. A few weeks after our shaky Vegas performance on August 21st, 1974, we were playing in the San Francisco Opera House. June was fully rested and back with the group. I felt like we were whole again, and we were all filled with positivity. Bill Graham and David were building up the show as an event not to be missed, and the public was responding. Bill Graham presents The Pointer Sisters, live at San Francisco Memorial Opera House. Bonnie, June, Ruth, and I put on one of our best shows up to that date. We were in our 40s outfits, and we were filled with nonstop energy. Our performance was on point. The orchestra was amazing. The audience went wild, and that energy just propelled us to new heights. It was a pivotal performance for us, and we knew that it could make or break us. Fortunately, it was probably the turning point in our career, the defining moment where we knew our group was solidified and we were doing what preparation and opportunity intended and rewarded. We were the first contemporary act to play that opera house, and no details were spared. In 1974, along with James Brown, Bill Withers, Sister Sledge, Al Green, Hugh Muscella, the Spinners, Big Black, the three of us, Bonnie, Ruth, and I, went to Africa as part of the entertainment portion of the Muhammad Ali versus George Foreman fight in Zaire. Child, we know about this from the Etta James book. Remember? That Negro was trying to kidnap all them. James Brown was the only one was like, hell no.
Bobby, get my jet in here tonight about 1 o'clock. Yeah. Fuck this king.
The king threw him in a trick bag. The king was like, okay, you're going to do it this day. Something happened. He's like, well, no, you can't do it this day. So you niggas gonna have to stay about 3 more weeks. Like 3 more weeks? I don't know if we could do that. We gotta hope. What? We can't do that, child. That king was tripping. The rumble in the jungle. The media called it. It was so unprepared for such an extravaganza that I didn't even have a camera with me. Music publicist Gary Stromberg was with us and had a Polaroid camera. Child, let me tell you what a Polaroid camera is. So what would happen is, back in the day, you can get your pictures instantly. Like the same way you could take a picture on your phone, you could do it with this Polaroid camera. Except for this mother hunter was about this big. Okay? This big. And what would happen is you would have to buy film. Okay? And you could get that from, what is that? People's Drugstore. Because it wasn't no Walgreens or none of that. It was People's. Or CVS. It was People's. Okay? It was also Woolworths. Right? I don't know if you could buy film from Woolworths because I don't think they developed it. But I know the People's did. So you would take the film cartridge and stick it into your box. Your Polaroid camera, child. You would take pictures, and within like 2 minutes, it would push out a non-developed picture. You would wave it like this, child, thinking that would make it develop quicker. And boom, there you go. That would be your picture. He amazed the Africans, taking their pictures and immediately showing them their own image. I sat by the banks of the Congo River and watched the sunset. It was a beautiful river and one of the most memorable evenings of my life. I also visited a village where the houses or huts had no doors, just a piece of fabric over the entrance. The people of Africa loved Muhammad Ali. I loved Muhammad Ali. I loved that he refused to go to war in Vietnam. Catch this. He said no Vietnamese ever called me a nigger. I don't particularly like the boxing aspect and wouldn't watch it before he came on the scene, but meeting him changed my perspective. He was such a showman and so handsome. Ali asked us to come watch him train every day before the event. He sent his people each day to pick up my sisters and me. We went to the stadium with him to see one of the shows. The crowd went crazy when he walked in, and it was amazing to be there with him. Later, his brother, Raman, went to Sausalito to my parents' house. I heard that the visit was about me, but alas, Muhammad and I never did get together. I had first met him when he came to give a speech at Mlickleman's High that Fritz had helped organize. I even have a picture somewhere of him holding Jada. Later, he joined us when we were co-hosting the Mike Douglas show. It was so wonderful how our paths continued to cross. I like how she glazed over the fact that her and Muhammad Ali had the hots for each other. Okay? Now, girl, okay, listen, I know you the older sister. You inside of a singing group, you know, Steam Heat and all that, okay? But I don't know if I would have let the Cassius Clay get away. I ain't saying you supposed to marry him and have children with him, because he is Muslim. You know, them Muslim men don't marry nothing but Muslim women. Now, they're that screw the hell out of you. All I'm saying, girl, if it's anything to be told, Anita, I kind of need you to tell it. Despite all the fun we were having, I continued to focus on my songwriting. When I wrote Fairytale, I wasn't trying to do something clever to break into the country music market. I wrote it because that's the way I felt. Fairytale was not chosen as an advanced single as I would have liked. They wanted to stick close to what our audiences had come to expect. So in March 1974, they released Steam Heat. That was a show tune from a Broadway musical, The Pajama Game. I was getting concerned that all of the traction we'd enjoyed in live shows was not translating to the radio format. For some reason, we weren't catching on like I thought we would. Finally, in a brilliant move by David, Fairytale was pitched to country and western formatted radio stations. The song was doing well on country stations and then charted in pop and adult contemporary. However, we knew country was where it fit the best. So in support of that single, we began a series of promotional appearances in and around Nashville. I was really nervous for that performance because our song had started something of a backlash around Nashville. When we arrived at the Grand Ole Opry, there was protesters carrying signs that said, "Keep country, country." We had fought during the tumultuous civil rights era, which was still fresh in our minds. To see people protesting us because of our race was unsettling. As we took the stage, a man screamed, "Hot damn, them girls is black." Fortunately, we won the music lovers over with our live performances. During an after party that included Roy Clark and Dolly Parton, my favorite white country lady, I love her. Now, as a child, I always was like, "Oh, grandma, is something wrong with that lady?" And child, I ended up having boobs bigger than she would ever have. I don't know, maybe. Because I got up to like an F. And as you ladies know, I had to get me old surgeries. Okay? But I was like, "Grandma, is that okay? Is her chest okay? Can she breathe like that?" Loved Dolly Parton, especially in 9 to 5 and The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas. Love Dolly Parton. During an after party that included Roy Clark and Dolly Parton, we were mistakenly taken through the back door. The thinking was that we were there as employees to work in the kitchen. We just laughed it off because we were excited to be there. Other than that incident, they really treated us nice. They could see that we were genuine and sincere. David had some experience working in Nashville and was able to get the song to none other than Elvis Presley. Y'all know, I love me some Elvis Presley. Go see the movie Elvis. Do not fall for the bullshit. He later recorded and released it on his album Today in 1975, and even performed the song at his final show in 1977. We were nominated for 2 Grammy Awards and received our first Grammy in the Country and Western Vocal Performance Duo or Group category for Fairytale. Today, that song has a place in the African American Museum of History and Culture in Washington, D.C., along with a photo of us receiving our award. On July 25th, 28th, we headlined at the Universal Studios Amphitheater in Los Angeles. The same week, we taped an appearance on a Nancy Wilson TV special to be shown in August. Next, we flew across country to appear at Atlantic City's Club Harlem on August 5th through 11th. Then it was back to LA to tape a special, live at the Palladium, to air on NBC on September 6th. While we were there, we taped an appearance on the Carol Burnett Show. Now, let me tell you something. The funniest woman in the world to me, has always been Carol Burnett and Lucille Ball. Yeah, I know they white. Funny doesn't have anything to do with race. A lot of things don't have to do with race, okay? But I felt like Carol Burnett was the funniest woman in the world. And to me, funny means you're not afraid to look stupid. Funny to me means that you're going to go all out for the joke. And I believe that that's what Carol Burnett did. Mrs. Sue Wiggins with that big old butt and them big old titties. And then when she used to come out every day with the Bob Mackies on, killing it, baby. Y'all know I'm going to die in the Bob Mackie dress. We going to have to make this happen somehow, okay? Even if I had to go to QVC and buy my shit. But every day that lady came out there with the hair cow, and the Bob Mackie with the silks and satins and feathers and polyester. Killing it, baby. Carol Burnett, Lucille Ball was the funniest, flyest bitches on television. While we were there, we taped an appearance on the Carol Burnett Show, as well as a special for the Public Broadcasting Service, PBS, and appeared in a promotional film. Following that, we went to Philadelphia to tape a week's worth of co-hosting on the Mike Douglas Show for an early September airing. Still moving fast, we had a series of concerts lined up for New Jersey, plus an appearance at the Central Park Schaefer Music Festival on August 30th. Not to mention the American Song Festival in Saratoga, Florida, the next night. Woo! How is June keeping up?
to go. Be waiting for you. No, how you do.
If you have not already done so, please remember to like, share to Facebook, subscribe, and visit uptopbeauty.com. Now remember this, the same people that you meet on the way up will always be the same people that you meet on the way down. My naysayers, my patron loves, you babies. Y'all have a good one. Peace.